Yes, people, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel, people. We're back today with a few ops. You know what I'm saying? A few ops. It's been a minute since we've had man like CB on the channel. You know, listen, I would love to get this guy on more, but this brother is Christopher Columbus. Yeah, he's never in England, bro. He's always touring, trying to discover new countries and that. That's the reason why you don't see him on here as much, people, because I know he's living life. If you're in his private story, you're gonna enjoy it because CB's always enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, we've got two big debuts today. You know what I mean? You've got Tom Little and Romz. I'm seeing these two doing worldwide tours right now as well. You know what I'm saying? What are you saying, Tom? You good?
I'm good. I can't wait to finally stop talking about previewing this game.
Facts.
I've done it non-stop for about 4 days now. There's only so many times I can talk about a Sancho versus Trent matchup or an Enzo versus Gravenberch matchup before I'll start going insane.
Yeah.
100%, bro. We're literally just saying that backstage. Now we've actually been everywhere talking about the game, but we had to do it on this channel as well, man. Romz, what are you saying, man? Debut as well.
It's crazy. Running deeper, it's crazy. It's the debut, but no, just echoing what Tom said. That the lot from 3 o'clock, I've been speaking about this game. Then yesterday, I'm just tired. Next time I speak about this is when the game's actually done. But now, big up CB, big up Tom, big up Don. You lot in the chat, smash to that. You already know all that stuff, man.
They fix my mic. They say my mic's not fixed right now. Let me just change.
Yeah, it's a bit muffly. It's a bit muffly.
Now?
Say again.
Test the mic. Is it better now? Yeah.
Yeah, it's much better, much better.
Yeah, I think I've got my mic turned on now. We saying CB, man, you good?
Yeah, man. I'm looking. Do you know, I didn't look at this game like a grudge match. I looked at it just generally as a test for us coming into this. You know, with the new manager, we actually can kind of see what he's about, if the players have improved a lot. Because we've had a couple of disappointing results in the last 2 times we faced them. But seeing Hussam yesterday and everyone's doing these previews, and I'm thinking, right, everyone actually, it's the way you guys are talking about Chels has made me really want this win. And I was happy with I'll be honest, like if we drew that game, I would have been like, you know what, it's calm. I'll take that draw. But now you guys are making me feel like if we don't win this game, it's the end of the world, and I just can't be bothered for it, man.
CB, let me just say, bro. Actually, because I had to leave the preview I did with Tom yesterday early. But what I'm going to say is Hussam and Ram, they were saying 3-0, 4-1s. They don't speak for all of us. That's one thing I will say. They don't speak for us because we'll chop it up because I think a positive result for us, but I don't think it'll be tight, bro. It'll be a tight game in my opinion.
No, 100%. I'm not gonna chop it up, people. Yeah, but let's go through the chat, see who's in here. You got Gaming for Life. Big up yourself as always, my bro. Carlos as well. You're seeing, listen. I didn't realize I plugged in the wrong cable, but it's working now. Big up Donna. It looks like Donna's here for Tom. I'm in love with Mr. Tom Little.
Hello,
is this person who would follow you or something?
I have no idea.
Hello,
Donna, love. How are you?
Big up Donna, man. Big up Donna. You got man like Robert, the famous Robert. Big up the man. Then big yourself up, bro. Will as well. Big up, man. But listen. You see this game? This is a game that I'm looking at like CB right now, and I really want to beat Liverpool, man. I really want to beat you guys because it's been a long time since COVID. You know, COVID was 4 years ago now. Yeah, that's the last time we beat you lot, right? And every single time since then, apart from last year when we had the little blip when you beat us 4-1, yeah, that's Poch. I'm putting that game mainly on Poch. Go look at that lineup again, bro. 3 centre backs across the back 4, Chilwell left back, Raheem Sterling on the left. It's like,
that's all injuries though. See, we're doing this again already straight away.
Yeah, but why do we have those injuries though? You know why we had those injuries? Because right now we've got a fully fit squad. Because America, he's gone to America, and again, there's guys leaving that camp with injuries. Right? I told you that guy was fucking our players up. Yeah. So last year we need to right those wrongs because we went to Anfield last year, yeah, and we just got absolutely battered, but we got embarrassed. Bradley, we made Bradley have a name. You know what I'm saying? Diaz is scoring against us. You had Jota scoring against us. Who else was there? Sabozlai scored against us. I was fuming, bro.
That's how
that's how you know it's bad, bro.
Sabozlai scored a header.
He scored a header, yes. He scored a header against us, bro.
Yo, we had Nunes looking like Prime Ibrahimovic.
Bro, he even hit the bar like a couple of times.
Bro,
he was 4 times. He broke the record for most times hitting a woodwork in a single game with 4. I love that game for Disassi at right back. Brought so much joy to my life. He had no idea what he was doing. He looked lost.
You
did
kept
look lost.
targeting him.
He did look lost, but now we've actually got a team that look like they know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Everyone that I speak to these days, they, apart from Hussam, they can clearly see that Chelsea are improving. CB, for once, this is the first time I've known CB where he's actually speaking about the club in a good light. He's seeing things, he's liking things, he's putting pressure on the boys to go and compete. Do you know what I'm saying? CB, how you feeling going into this game, bro, man? How you actually feeling about going into this game? Do you think we can actually go get a win against these lot?
I'll say how important a win here is. I don't honestly, I don't think we can, just off the fact that we ain't won there in a long time, innit? I love the idea of it, but why this is so important is if we get a win here, just seeing how well we started. Yeah, we dropped points against Forest. This is a massive statement win because people are all like, "Oh, pay attention to Chelsea." Some people are saying, "Well, frauds, all of this," but people are already paying attention to the improvement that we've done. Getting this one down as a win it stamps us like we're official. And on top of that, we've got a very tough spell coming up. After this, we've got Newcastle, we've got United, we've got Arsenal. So it really sets the tone if we can get a win here today. But I think it's doable. That's the question, because every time I rely on these guys in the big moments, just the squad assembled, we've only beaten United and Spurs. So I don't know when it really comes to the big games. That's what I'm saying. And another thing as well is this can actually tell us what we need to know about our manager. Because if he's got the big game gene, I'm ready to go to war for this guy. I'll be honest. But that's a big if.
100%, man. It's going to be a big test because last year we failed a lot of the tests when we went away to United. Like you said, we lost. We went away to Liverpool, we lost. We went away to Newcastle, we lost. Against City, we drew. So all those little games, CB, we need to turn them into W's and draws. Yeah, that's the only way we're going to solidify top four. And if you're talking about competing, if we're still up there like post-January and that, yeah, that's the only way you're gonna keep up with this batch. You got to take points off of them. You know what I mean? But Romz, how are you feeling going into this game, man? Because I don't think I've actually spoken to you yet about the game, bro.
You actually haven't, especially not in depth. But look, I back us against unless your name's Real Madrid, I back us against anyone at Anfield. You know me, Don. We spoke many times about Chelsea. I respect you lot. I did under Poch. I've had you lot top 4 last season. I got you lot top 4 this season. I can't be a hypocrite. At some point in the past, I've wanted at least 6 or 7 of your players at my club at some point in the past. So I respect your talent, but I don't know. I know it's cliche. This game is won and lost in the midfield, and now there's some reports that McAllister may be out. I don't want Lavia stuck. Yeah, there's reports he's undergoing individual training. He wasn't in training today. He's been in the gym. So I think if I'm being completely honest now, he should be fine for Sunday. But I can see a world where he comes on now. I don't know if he's necessarily going to start. And if he doesn't start, that is big advantage Chelsea, because do I trust Jones to come in the fold in a pivot with Gravenberch? We've not seen it yet, and I don't really want it to be debuted against a Chelsea attack. So we'll see. But I'm still confident. Listen, there's some key battles, and I know we'll say in backstage that we've gone over them, all of us, the last few days. But I think the wide areas is where it could be interesting for me. Robbo's been a great servant, but it's not a shock that the last, I would say, maybe year, 18 months, coming of age, he's still quality, but Noni's in good form. I think he can cause him problems on that side. But then vice versa for you lot, Diaz against Gusto. I think you lot would admit as a fan base, Gusto's not been at his best this season, where Diaz has. Like, I'm not Diaz's biggest fan. I think Tom said the other day he's not, but you have to respect his start. I won't start giving apologies. I need to see 6 months of this, not 10 games. Because he started like this in the past. We've seen this. We've seen
Diaz. True.
He does this every year.
Then he got injured. Yeah. Then he got injured, though, innit? Picked up that knee injury.
He does this every
when it starts getting
No, that was the season before. That was
South American players. When it starts getting frosty outside there, this is when all of this balling stops. This jogger Benito is doing this because the sun's been out of it.
Yeah.
When it's just getting foggy, you will see.
Do you know what happened? though? That was the season before. So his first 6 months, he was the catalyst in us pushing for every trophy, because he basically come in for Mane, you would say, right? And then the start of the 22 to 23 season, we've gone to the Emirates and Thomas Partey's injured him. So that was the season before. What happened last season is the kidnapping of he had a minor injury, correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, and then the kidnapping of his dad played a part in his form. But we've seen it as Liverpool fans. We've seen this with Luis Diaz.
Kidnapping of his dad is crazy, you know.
It is crazy. But what I didn't like, and I think Tom, you may agree, is we just kept milking it as not me specifically, but we kept milking it as a fan base that he came back, still wasn't hitting the ground running, missing 1-on-1s in the crunch.
I was seeing his dad in the crowd.
Celebrate exactly.
I was seeing his dad in the crowd. Like, I can understand in the time in the month afterwards. Yeah, you're probably still recovering. I think it was March, and he was stinking up the gaff against Luton. This is the thing with Diaz. The man in the first 10 games of the season is the best left winger in the Premier League. Outside of that, he's the most inconsistent guy you could have on the wing. It's a reason why I prefer Gakpo, because Gakpo gives me consistency. And Diaz, we've hit 10 games this season now. He needs to get through. He needs to start showing me again after this break that he can keep his form going. Because if he can, we might get somewhere. If not, we're going to end up with the same situation that we were in last year, where you have the people that back him because he's quick, he knows how to beat a man. That's great. But when he's costing us games, big games, i.e. Man City at home, because he goes through one-on-one and puts it 5 yards wide, United away, all these big games where he's costing us, I don't have that novelty anymore. It's like Nunes. Ironically, the people that defend Nunes defend Diaz. They're all cut from the same cloth.
So what are you saying then, Tom? Like, for you, go on, Romz.
Remember though, Miss Neve, I was Nunes' biggest fan. I was his biggest fan for the first 2 seasons, and then it becomes unforgivable. The misses against Luton,
the novelty wears off. It wears off very quickly.
It wears off, man. And I've now conceded. Tom, do you know what? For me, it's so sad that when he comes into a game or he starts a game, it's like, he needs to impress today. You're 3 years in. You're in your 3rd season. We shouldn't still be saying stuff about him. He needs to impress today. He should be one of the first names on the team sheet by now, and he's just not. I've already conceded we need to sell him. If not, probably not in the January, but next summer. It's just annoying now because
we're 3 years. We're 3 years into his 5-year deal, and we're still waiting for his breakout moments.
Exactly. That's crazy.
Where would you guys? Because I don't really know where Liverpool's head's at right now. Obviously, you got the new manager. He started out well the first couple of games. Gravenberch has improved, but I've seen a lot of Trent noise. But other than that, what are actually the weak points in your team where you feel like this needs to be improved, or if we were trying to win a title?
I don't think. I think the only weak points per se is the consistency in front of goal. And it was the problem last year, and I still think it's a bit of a problem now in the fact that we are still going through the thing where we create a load of chances and miss a load of chances. But unlike last year, our defence is structured so much better that we're not getting punished for missing these chances in the same way. We're not conceding the same amount of chances. I mean, the numbers-wise, we have the best defence in the league by any measurable metric, and I think just shy of 50% of the XG we've conceded as a whole has come when we've been 3-0 up, and we just decide, fuck it, let's not even be that arsed anymore and give United chances and Bournemouth chances. So, if we want to win the league, we need to be scoring 2-3 a game. Right now, we're getting the 1-0 wins. We're edging the tight games, but there's going to be some which we aren't going to edge. There's going to be some where we need to be scoring 3 or 4. And at the minute, the finishing you've seen it in moments, but again, it's not been consistent. And that for me is the only real problem. Obviously, I'd like to add a midfielder in January for depth and maybe a centre-back if there was one. But for something that can be fixed right now, them attackers need to get more consistent in front of goal.
Tom, what would you say? What would you say? Go on, Romz.
1 minute, Don. Just to add on to Tom. Tom literally took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say, defensively, the things with Klopp, his last 18 months, you could say 2 years. I would say, I always describe Klopp's tenure as this: the first 2 to 3 years, gung ho, very basketball-esque. Then I'd say from about 2018 to 20. So the year we won the league and Champions League, we were solid defensively. I think after Chelsea, we've got one of the best records, conceding 22 league goals, I think. Then we become solid. Then the last year or two of his tenure, we kind of reverted back to what he was like at the start of his tenure. It's becoming very open again. And one of my you asked what our weakness is, CB. It's literally not killing games off, because now you're getting rivals saying, Wolves made it look a tight game. Palace looked quite tight. It's like, no. None of these games were tight. We should have just blew them out the water. And we were missing ample opportunities. For me, defensively now, we're very solid because with Klopp, who are playing with a lone 6, our 2-8s would press like crazy. Now you've got the pivot of Gravenberch and McAllister that kind of protect the back 4, and Szoboszlai presses with the front 3. So we press cohesively, but we have more men behind the ball. So we kind of risk that donut in the middle. So if there is a turnover, we've got that protection. So to answer your question, CB, it's just we're not being ruthless enough. And that sounds mad because we're sitting top of the table, but we're making games seem closer than they actually are. We just need to, for me, put teams away quite. And I don't think it starts with you lot, by the way. I think we will need to expertise that against the smaller teams.
Yeah, and you basically answered the question I was going to ask Tom, because I was going to ask Tom how, like, what Liverpool have done to actually improve themselves defensively, and you basically said it, Romz. Yeah, you've got that shield.
We've got a better structure.
Yeah, go on, answer it. Go on.
I think the big change has been we've stopped inverting Trent, which means that we build up now on a 2-3, which is more balanced. But there's two things. The attackers actually work back defensively now, which didn't necessarily happen at points on the clock, which would leave certain areas isolated. But mainly, I think it's the change in build up from a 3-2 to a 2-3, which means the fullbacks are wider. Therefore, if we were to lose the ball, there's not a massive gaping hole for teams to attack into, like most teams did last year. Because when Trent was inverting and we lost the ball, he then needs to get back out. Whereas if he's out and he loses the ball, he just stays out there. He doesn't need to try and recover his position again. I think that's the big thing. The structure is improved, and that was the main problem we had last year. It's why I think we didn't win the league. Obviously, we should have killed more games off, but half the problem was allowing teams that we were 1-0 up against and dominating to get back into the game. Now we are looking so much more solid defensively.
What I find is that our problems are basically the opposite. We're scoring goals, but defensively we just leak goals, and it's kind of the opposite. But I feel like,
do we? Wait, hold on. Just expand on that a little bit more. What do you mean we leak goals, CB?
We've been leaking goals, man. Let's be honest. Like, I feel like the Palace goal we conceded was unnecessary. Forest, a set.
That was their only chance. That was basically their only chance of the game.
Wolves, like making that 2-2 was a slugfest. Another set piece as well, and one of them. Like, we're conceding goals, isn't it? There's not like Brighton as well. 2 stupid goals conceded. Like, and
I'm asking you. Of course, but the thing is, every team every week is going to concede goals. But what I'm asking you, right? Because obviously last year you saw how easy it was to play through us, bro. That's why we conceded over 60 goals. What I'm asking you is defensively, bro. Have you seen a difference in how we're defending over 90 minutes? I know, yes, we're conceding goals. It's going to happen. We're not going to keep a clean sheet every game. Yeah, but when I look at some of the goals we've conceded against Brighton, for example, Sanchez, 2 bozo mistakes that he made. That was on him, right? Cool that you can say Caicedo should have cleared it and that. Cool, fair enough. But he just made a bozo mistake for that one, right? You've got Palace, a moment of brilliance from Eze. One of the minimum shots they had all game. They barely did anything. We had 5 chances that whole game, yeah? You've got Wolves. Okay, cool. First half against Wolves was all over the place. Caicedo had an absolute stinker in the first half. Second half, they barely had a shot on goal. Same thing as Bournemouth, though. They weren't really creating any clear-cut chances. People keep telling me, like, Bournemouth pammed you. That game, bro, they didn't really have any clear-cut chances. They hit the bar from outside the box. They hit the post from outside the box.
And a penalty.
And they had that penalty as well. But apart from that, there's not many teams that are having clear one-on-one chances.
I agree with you in that sense. Yeah, defensively and structure-wise, I do see an improvement. We're not getting found out. Guys are not going through on goal one-on-one against us. I agree there. I think the only time I really saw that last season, I think one time against Wolves this season, and Haaland's goal, I think the first goal he scored. The first goal City scored against us. Other than that, this season, I'll be honest, I haven't seen that. That's fair. But I said this on the terrace yesterday, a lot of the goals we actually are conceding, I would say, barring the set pieces, which is a problem, especially going against Liverpool, who are one of the best set piece teams in the league.
Facts. Hopefully,
this is a big. We got Arsenal coming up as well, which is going to be another big test in terms of set pieces. We might be facing Maguire and that. You also, what they can do in the air. This is where we've been getting found out. So that needs to improve. But that's been a problem since Pochettino. So that needs to get addressed. And then the rest of the goals we've conceded have actually been just errors of learning a new system, which the managers actually said from the start, from pre-season, that this is gonna happen. Sanchez mistakes, just passing the ball away, stupid stuff like that. And then obviously Kovacic and Eze's goals are a bit mental. But what I look at the way we are, where we're scoring, we can always back our team to score. And whether we concede, we feel like as a fan base, we're going to score more than we've conceded. It really reminds me of Liverpool prior to you guys getting Van Dijk, where it was like you're winning games 6-3 and 4-4 and all of these type of games. You can see, right, there's a system here. These guys are good flow in football. You're playing one of the best football in the league, but defensively, you ain't got the Alisson and the Van Dijk yet that's going to get everything sorted out for you. I don't know, because you guys are Liverpool fans. Do you see that also, or am I just dragging it?
Chelsea remind me of that 6 months we had before, that 6 months we had of Salah, Mane, Firmino, Coutinho.
Yeah,
where you've got so much attacking talent and everything's focused on that, and you've got a couple of good midfielders in there. So like we had Wijnaldum, who ended up having to do loads of jobs in that midfield to cover that front four. But when you get further back, yes, your centre backs can have decent games, but they also have a mistake in them. Yes, your full backs can have decent games, but they also got a mistake in them. Yes, your goalkeeper can make 5 saves, but he's got a mistake in him. And when you've got that many mistakes in you, they're almost it kind of, there's a lack of confidence in the team or not confidence in a sense, a lack of belief in that front line that they can win 1-0. They don't, that front line kind of know they've got to be on it every game.
Yeah,
because they can't get away with only getting one, because they're worried that if it's not the right back, it's the left back. If it's not the left back, it's the centre back. If it's not the centre back, it's the keeper. There's always someone on their mind that's playing, and I feel like Chelsea's next step, if they want to take that next step and be a title challenger, is to go and identify a top keeper and to go and identify a top centre back, because that, once you have that, you can justify the risks that you take in attack. I feel like at the minute with Chelsea, if you keep playing the way you're playing, when you come up against teams that that are so well drilled with pacing on the wings, that's where the problems will arise. So it's kind of the same with us. We still have that problem at times where if we come up against a really well-oiled team who have pace on the wings, sometimes they cause us problems like Forest. I feel like that's the problem that Chelsea are going to have right now, because there's a lack of a leader, a real mountain at the back who everyone can look at and sort of feed off of. There's a bit of a weakness there, and I do think teams will target that.
I mean, we just had that with Silva, obviously. Go on, Romz.
Quickly, Tom was spot on, because I literally said what I was going to say. The first 6 months of our 17-18 season, we were calling them the 4 arrows. You had Coutinho, Mane, Firmino, and Salah. But for them, you still had a Clavan, you still had a Mignolet, you still had a Lovren that would cause mistakes. And this is what I've said about this Chelsea team. This is why I don't have you down as title contenders. But then again, it's context, because let's say you get to January and you're in and around the top. Let's say Arsenal, City, and us. Let's say you're a couple points off the top. This is where I have to rate Clear Lake and whatnot, because one thing, you say what you want about them, but they are ambitious. They will chuck money at your team to improve your team. So what I would say is, that's why I've got you comfortably in the top 4, by the way. I actually think the top 4 will probably be settled by early April. I think it will be the 5th, 6th spots between Villa, all them lot that are fighting for it. But I've said you lot are reminiscent of us in 17-18, where you're going to have a lot of 4-3 wins and 3-2 wins and 5-3 wins. I feel like you'll concede a lot, but your attack will be your form of defense. So yeah, to answer your question, CB, you're very reminiscent of us in that season under Klopp.
Just to go back a little bit,
Chelsea are built like a good cup team. You have the makeup and players and personnel of a really good cup team. You've got pace on the wings. You've got a game changer in attack, and your defense isn't consistent enough for a full season. But in one-off games, it can turn up. So I wouldn't be shocked if he's made another final this season, for example, or you went and won that Conference League, because you have the makeup of a real good cup team.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And to be honest with you, like what you said about our fullbacks, Tom, to be honest with you, like Gusto is very good one-on-one. This year, we haven't really seen it as much because he's trying to learn a new role in it. It's going into the midfield. For me, our best inverter, personally, I don't know if you agree, CB, is Cucurella. Yeah? But the issue that you've got, if you invert Cucurella, it means Gusto has to go back into right centre-back. And that's not his role. Like he's better to be in midfield and like bombing further up. But he's learning that role. But one-on-one defensively, he's very good, in my opinion. Left back, Cucurella as well. He's a pest. Yeah, he's a fullback that you don't want to be coming up against because he's tight onto you. But at times, that doesn't work in his favor because he can easily get spun. I've seen him getting spun by Anthony. I've seen him getting spun by Salah. You know, obviously he's not starting the game. It's Vega. And for me, Vega is able to defend wide areas quite well. And it offers us that that height in the air as well. Because Konate and Van Dijk, they're very good in the air.
So who will invert then? Just for Chelsea? I assume you're going to try and invert one fullback.
I don't know if he will though, CB. Like I don't know if he will because he might play a 4-2-3-1. If he does that, there won't be anyone inverting, like to help Enzo in the pivot with Caicedo. If he does invert anyone, then it will be Gusto, 110%.
Don't be Vega. He's also,
I think he'll be Vega.
Started his first game in midfield against Bournemouth.
If you invert Vega, I think that's a mistake.
I don't see him inverting. I don't see him inverting Vega over Gusto, bro. For the exact same reason, I don't see him inverting Cucurella over Gusto. I don't see him telling Gusto to stay back at right centre back, bro.
But then Don, isn't Vega more accustomed? Because correct me if I'm wrong, he's naturally a 6, right? So he understands that role. I know it's different.
Not six. He's a left centre back who can play at left back and he can play midfield.
Oh, fair.
That's what he is. He's a centre back.
I don't think. I think the smart move for Chelsea would be to not invert anyone because our wingers are going to stay wide. If you invert, I'm just going to use Vega for an example. If you invert Vega, we're just going to pump that ball to Salah. And we are eventually going to have situations where Salah is driving at Colwell 1v1.
If we're not inverting anyone, then we're going to see all three in midfield. Then we're going to see Enzo, Lavia, and Caicedo for that to work.
Nah. Because Palmer, bro, he's not going to take Madueke out.
He's going to put Palmer out right.
Nah, he won't do that. Trust
me. I
me.
don't think he'll drop Madueke in his form.
He's not going to drop Madueke.
He's going to do that.
And if he does that, then clearly he hasn't learned from the mistake he made against City, bro. Because against City, he started Palmer on the right, if you remember, CB. And for me, that didn't work.
Kunku on the left, that was criminal.
You know what I'm saying? Maresca ball. For Maresca, the main part of his game is his wingers. For Slot, the main part of his game is the midfield, in my opinion. Yeah? Maresca's going to want touchline wingers. He don't want Palmer on the right. He's spoken about it many times. Like, right now, Palmer, we're using him centrally. He's versatile, yes. But if you've got Madueke fit, you've got Neto fit and that, Palmer's like third choice to go on the right. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be Madueke. It's going to be Palmer in midfield. And if we do play a 4-2-3-1, it'll be Enzo and Caicedo on the pivot. Personally, I'm starting Lavia. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting Lavia. I feel like this is a game where we need a little bit more physicality. Someone in the first phase who's able to break up play. And Caicedo counter-pressing from the front, bro. Pressing Gravenberch, bro. Adding a little bit of physicality in there. Yeah, another performance. He just came back from Ecuador and he put out another man of the match performance, bro. You know what I'm saying? I see CB's been giving him his flowers and that. What do you think Caicedo can do for us in this game, CB, man? Because obviously he's coming back to Anfield again. Last year they were booing him. Remember? Yeah. Do you think it's going to be the same thing as when he went back to West Ham and he put out a man of the match performance?
That's what I was saying yesterday. I was like, everyone in this team, why this game's important to me is because it's a mentality test for the players. Seeing how the 4-1 and then the Carabao Cup final, how we lost that game, is a test of character. The same way when we come against Arsenal after that 5-0, I expect everyone to go for that like it's a Champions League final. And then especially how we saw Caicedo respond to the chip he had on his shoulder when he went to the Olympic Stadium. Because the first time was his debut, he had a stinker, we lost 3-1. Now he went there and he dropped a Blasic, most duels won in a game, all of this, most tackles won, all of that. He complete performance, got an assist and everything. I expect the same, but this one's a bit different because the game's won in the midfield, in my opinion, with this game. But like I mentioned on Lewis's stream yesterday, it's automatically a 3 versus 1 in midfield if Enzo is playing with Palmer in the 10 because no one else is going to do any defensive work. Say what you want about Szoboszlai, but the kid runs. He's like their Gallagher. He ain't going to stop pressing. If he starts pressing Enzo, we're getting found out in transition. On top of that, he's got McAllister and Gravenberch helping him out. So essentially, if Lavia isn't starting, it's generally a 3 versus 1 in midfield. And we've seen him handle it before in the past. Like, for example, Stamford Bridge against United, he did what he had to do. But I feel like he's getting set up here. You know, I don't think he can do a job by himself. It's a big test for him, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be interesting, man, because obviously right now we've got a fully fit squad. For me, Maresca's shown that he's quite adaptable, you know, in terms of going away to West Ham, letting them have the ball and then just breaking on them. You know what I'm saying? Going against Brighton and doing up ping-pong football, matching what they want to do. Against Man City, he was a little bit more reserved. So he's shown me that he can be adaptable and flexible. That's why, for me, CB is a healthy headache to have. Yeah, where our manager is unpredictable because Slot will be thinking about the same thing. He might be training all week for something, and then before you know it, Lavia starts the game. Now it's like, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? We're training for Enzo to start the game further up, you know? But like, bro, you're spot on, man. Like, if we don't win that midfield battle, we have to be extra clinical in front of goal. Yeah, right now we've got the best conversion rate in the league, which is mad to even say that because last year we kept missing chances. But I need a big game from Jackson. Yeah, I need a big game from Jackson.
100%.
You know what?
Yeah.
Can I
You know
ask
what
you
I'm
quickly? You know, you're just saying about Maresca. He's shown to you this season that he's unpredictable, and I think I even listened to one of his pressers. I think before the international break, he literally says he can adapt to whoever he's about to play against. He said something along them lines. You two know the presser I'm on about, right?
Yeah.
Do you think he will play a bit more? Like you said, he's unpredictable, but what do you think he'll do? Because this is what I've said to a lot of my fan base, right? Again, I think we get the job done, but I think this is where you lot could potentially win this game. If you play, I think you're going to take the lead. Again, we're going to go into prediction that later on, but I actually think you're going to take the lead this game. But let's say that happens, and my prediction's correct. Don't you think you should just shut up shop from them? Because we showcased it against Forest. I know there's a lot of context to Forest. I feel like we went into that game thinking we had already won. I think us taking off McAllister and putting Trent into midfield, we lost the element of control as well. But I do feel, I think you lot taking this to us is going to play into our hands. But I think Maresca's that type of manager that doesn't like to go against his philosophy. I think he'll want to take it to us. But do you feel we should play a bit reserved, like you said, because you did it against Brighton and you've done it against another team? I can't remember who you mentioned. Do you think you should go down that route? Because I think you could cause us problems.
100%. I don't think it's gonna be overly. I don't want us to be overly reserved like what we was against City. Innit? We gave them too much respect. Yeah. I like what you lot are doing right now, but we can't just sit back, CB. You get it? We can't just sit back and then look to break because that we're not at that level where our defense is like Arsenal, where they can just sit back the whole game. You whip it in, Saliba, black. You know what I'm saying? You whip it in, Gabriel.
Makeshift back four as well.
Yeah, we're not at that level. Like Colwell's been very good. Like in terms of the blocks, bro. The amount of blocks he's got this year is like a striker scoring a goal. He's been getting blocks where if he doesn't get to it, it's a goal. Do you know what I'm saying? He done it against Wolves.
You see that though? That's the problem though, Don. Systematically though, the fact that our centre backs have to do that many last ditch tackles and blocks and all of this is showing the flaws in our defense, our defensive structure. That's why I'm happy that Cole was improving, but it's like you shouldn't be getting found out like this.
But the thing is though, CB, bro, we're playing in the Prem. Like every single team in the Prem can score goals against you, right? If they get through your midfield, it's now your defender's job to do their job. If you watch Arsenal, you will see Gabriel blocking the ball, bro. You will see Saliba blocking the ball. They don't let it get to Raya. That's why Raya gets all these clean sheets and that. And that's the same thing we need in front of the goalkeepers. You can't just look at it and say, oh, why are they getting so many blocks? We're not getting pammed right now. But the main thing for me is that Colwell is doing his job in the box. You know, Fofana has been doing his job in the box. Tosin, a few weeks ago, people were asking for him to start ahead of Fofana. So I'm not even scared that he's coming in. Do you know what I'm saying? But Tom, bro, who are you looking at right now from a Chelsea point of view? I know we kind of spoke the other day. I know who you're going to say, but let the people know who you're looking at right now as the main danger man. If you want to give 2 danger men from Chelsea that you're like, yo, we need to make sure that we lock them up, we silence them, bro.
As long as you can limit the ball going into Palmer, you've got a decent chance because everything runs through Palmer because he's that good. It's easier said than done stopping Palmer getting the ball, but that should be the focus for us defensively. I'm not really too... I don't have the same fear for anyone else in that Chelsea team that I do for Palmer, because the one thing I'll give Palmer that I don't really give any other players, that man gets fazed by nothing. So where I've seen in the past big players come to Anfield and freeze up, I don't think Palmer's that kind of player. I think you've got to make sure you're on him and making sure that you're doing your job defensively, because if you're not doing it, you can't rely on him, Wilton, under the occasion, because he won't do that. The only other guy that would bother me, but I don't think he's going to start, is Neto. Neto was a direct 1v1 winger because he ripped Gomez a new one last year for Wolves. I'd back Robertson, but Neto's the kind of guy that can cause you problems. He's just not starting at the minute. Madueke probably starts, so I wouldn't necessarily... I back Robertson more against Madueke than I do against Neto. But your danger man's Palmer. That's the guy that you need to try and deal with.
I think, and I know, obviously, that's your opinion. I know you. It's mainly Palmer for you, but for me, I think it's Sancho as well. And the reason why I say that to say this, right? There's this old notion now that Trent's bad defensively. Like, if you've actually watched in the past year, he's not been that bad. I just think it's an old narrative that rivals just like to say and try and make recent, because he's been very good for me the last calendar year. But I've always said with Trent, I don't think he actually struggles with out and out pace. Probably Martinelli's one that he struggled with, and there might be a few others. For me, it's the stop-start wingers, kind of like a Kyle Walker that give him trouble. And for me, Sancho can, and why I think Sancho alongside Palmer could hurt us. He's got very good IQ. Say what you want about him, his tenure at United. You've seen it's evident in Dortmund shirts, and you've seen it even at spells of United. The game where they beat us 2-1 to him, and we were 3 games into the season. He has very good IQ, and I think if there's a pass to be played or that eye of the needle, it could be him. He's the other player other than Palmer that I trust. Everyone else, I think Madueke is in very good form, but I still think his IQ can let him down. Sometimes when he should pass, he'll shoot. Sometimes when he should shoot, he'll pass. In Nkunku, for me, I'm worried about, but for me, again, he won't start. Caicedo and Enzo. Caicedo, listen, and me and Don, me and you have spoke about this. For me, he's very underrated in the final phase. He's got a very good pass in him, and he's a good decision maker. But other than that, for me, it's Palmer and Sancho. But look, I spoke to a Chelsea fan, right? I don't think you two will agree, Don and CB, but some are calling for Mudryk to start for that sheer pace on the left. I don't agree with it. But
no, that's criminal. That's criminal.
I would trust us to deal with Sancho because of the guy, because of Szoboszlai. I think structurally we're not putting Trent in the same situations which allow him to be cooked so easily. Half the time that he was getting cooked was because he was having to sprint back from centre mid into right back. He's out of position. The winger's already making that move. He's reaching. Now he's at right back, so he can shape himself up for a 1v1 easier. But also, Szoboszlai ends up covering that side when we defend, or he has done for most of the season. He ends up becoming a right centre mid, well, at points defensively, and then when you have it at the back, that's when I'll go to being that second striker kind in the press. But if you're constantly focusing on Sancho, this is one thing that I've said Slot's better than Klopp at, and I will stand by this. Slot's much better at in-game management. If Slot sees that Sancho is getting into 1v1 situations, he'll just tell Szoboszlai to go and double up on him.
Yeah, Klopp put too much trust in your players, isn't it? Like, way too much. Even if you could see them getting
Klopp was just Klopp's idea of plan B was plan A but harder, plan A but faster, plan A but quicker. Whereas Slot has, right, okay, plan A is not working. Right, we'll move him there and we'll try and open up this attack and avenue. There's a plan B, which is... Klopp's worked really well because the system itself was really good. And if you just done it harder and done it with more intensity, then more often than not, you'd break through. But there were moments and there were games and there were situations where that just was never going to happen. So far on the Slot, bar the Nottingham Forest game, I've seen in pretty much every game tactical changes that have won us the game or won us.
Do you know a couple people in the chat? A couple people in the chat want to see something. One of them said you were one of the people that.
Nah. Ramadan is trolling. He's trolling. What I said.
What I would say, Don. You keep referencing the 0-0 game, the 12:30 kickoff. It was against a James Milner. You know that.
Yeah, it was James Milner.
Mudryk was cold that game, but it was against a James Milner. There has to be context.
Yeah, but that's not why I'm bigging up Mudryk. Like, Mudryk for me this year is clearly improving. Right, in terms of just looking like he can actually.
Don, why do you do this? Don, why
I'm not. Hold on. CB. I'm not. What do you mean? Why?
CB's thinking it was going so well.
I'm not asking. Hold on, CB. I'm not asking. No, because he did this. He did this last time when I told him Madueke is one of the best at taking on his man. Now he can't take his you know what I'm saying, out of his mouth. All I ever see on the TL now, yeah, is just slobbing man off. You know what I mean? Listen to what I'm saying. If you're
going to play Mudryk for crossing, please do, because I think that's the one area defensively we're good at. You can put a cross in, and I will deal with it.
That'll be food and drink.
I'm not starting Mudryk, like I've said. Ramadan is trolling. Yeah, all I'm saying is Mudryk has improved. For me, I would start Sancho because you know what you're going to get out of Sancho, bro. You know he's going to retain the ball. I know he's going to take on Trent. I know he's going to do the skills and that. Because like Sancho is not the quickest, yes, but look what he done to Ola, bro, last week. You know what I'm saying? Just the little dropping of the shoulder, the flare, all of that. Yeah, Trent's not going to like that. You know what I mean? Because Trent's not Trent, cool. He's not a bum defensively, but you can get at him, innit? If you're a player like Sancho, you like playing against the Trent because for me, he's not like a Reece James defensively.
I'll be honest, I don't. In the last year, I can't think of many wingers who've gotten the better of Trent throughout an entire game. I remember vividly. I remember we went away to Brighton last year, and I don't think I've seen many fullbacks give Matoma less. Matoma could not get past Trent at any point, and then we took him off. Klopp was an idiot and took him off for Joe Gomez, and within 2 minutes, Matoma had taken it round Gomez 3 times, and they'd scored off a free kick that Gomez had given away. Trent is a 1v1 defender. As long as he's not having to recover from central midfield, I back him. I really do. I think the idea that he's this horrendous 1v1 defender who most wingers will get the best at. Yes, you might beat him once or twice. I'll give it, because you're a good winger. You'll get the better once or twice. But Mitoma's seen as one of the best dribblers in the Premier League. And he's a guy who's given
a purple patch, but he's not really.
But no, Mitoma's dribbling
wise, but his dribbling's always been there. And Trent gave him nothing that day.
I think, hold on, Rob, just to finish off as well, I do think that Sancho is going to have a good game against him, to be fair. And Mudryk, like I've said, is a good weapon to bring off the bench. Because when you're up against tired legs, if the game's opened up a little bit more, Enzo can feed those passes to him. Caicedo can feed those passes to him. Palmer can feed those passes to him. And like you're saying, you're weak on crosses. Mudryk is a very good crosser of the ball, bro. Yeah, and I've said,
we're not weak on crosses.
Him. You said sorry, you're not good at. You said you're not good at defending crosses.
No, I said please cross the ball.
That's where we
Van Dijk and Canate. They got
Van Dijk and Canate. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They tend to head them out because they're tall, bro. But with Mudryk, like I've said, he's another weapon we can bring off the bench. Neto, for example, like you said, he loves playing against Liverpool. Yeah, every time I see him against Liverpool, like last time he played left wing, he cooked my man. Was it Gomez that was playing right back? Yeah, when he played left wing at Anfield. Do you know what I'm saying? So the good thing about us, I keep saying, we've got a second wind on the bench. Do you know what I'm saying? We've got a second wind on the bench. What are you saying, CB, about that left-hand side, man?
Bro, if I speak, chat's going to kill me, innit? I think, I'll give it the first half just for structure-wise in terms of if we got Lavia, if Enzo and Caicedo are playing, I'll start Vega. I'm actually a fan of Vega. I'm impressed with him. He's done well this season. It'll be a big test for him. However, if we have Lavia playing, I do want to see Chilwell, man. I think Sancho, we need someone that can overlap Trent with Sancho, that can actually make a lot overlaps, crossing, etc. We don't really do that as much. So I would take Chilwell to Anfield. I know he didn't have a good game last time, but he came up 45 minutes in, but he was playing injured. So I hear that. But if we're doing this Mudryk stuff,
what did you just say? What did you just say?
Definitely, because you need to deepen like this. Sancho's got the technical ability, but he has nobody to combine with him on that left-hand side who can attack too. If they're going to double him up with Szoboszlai, at least we got Chilwell going forward to overlap, and he can put a good cross in. He's one of the best ball strikers in the team. So it makes sense. We're saying that we're building our team based on our opposition. That's what the manager said. Why can't we do that? And then if they want to double up Sancho, that's all right, because you're just freeing up room for Palmer or Noni on the other side. So I don't see why not. But
I don't agree with CB, but I hear the logic. I don't agree with it, but it does make sense what you're saying.
This is what I need to tell you, bro. Let it go. Just let it go. It's over. Like you're hanging on to this guy because he takes you back to when we won the Champions League. It is over for Chilwell. Yeah, you want to play this guy again, bro? Yeah, like we didn't see him.
Please play Chilwell. I loved him in that cup final, but he was just scrapping all our kids. That was fucking hilarious.
The only one that
scrapping kids. That day. No one even came for this, brother. No one from Turkey came. No one from the MLS came. No one from Congo came. No one from Zambia came. No one from Uganda came.
Don't use Man United as a benchmark. Don't use Man United as a benchmark for trying to prove that a player is good. They have no fit left back. They take anything.
This guy can't even play in the Kenyan league, and you're saying he should start at Anfield. Are you crazy?
No, generally though, I'm saying because of the profile we have at left back, even an academy kid can do that, then fair enough. But the profiles we have at left back, he's the only person who can help in terms of overlapping with Sancho in that battle on the left-hand side. Because what we find a lot with Sancho is he's not quick, he ain't got a burst of pace, but he's technical enough to make a defender wobble or get some separation. And then he has to go and pass backwards because there's no one that can overlap him. We've seen that how many weeks now? There's only
Bro,
one man that can do it.
Yeah, but bro, that's where Vega's gonna have to go run that up. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna have to run that up because I've seen Vega taking up positions in advanced roles, bro. Like he's very versatile. I trust him to play that role quite well. Like look at the goal that he scored. Who was it that he scored against when Mudryk set him up? Was it Barrow? Can't remember the team we played. One of them teams, Ghent or whatever. Yeah. He was hella high up. He was hella high up on that side, bro. Ben Chilwell is over. You know what I'm saying? That guy, you probably just see him in Carabao Cup, FA Cup, maybe getting a few minutes if we're like 4-0 up. But his time's done. And in January, he'll be moved on. You know what I'm saying? We can't be talking about Ben Chilwell now. Like, that's done. You know what I mean? But I respect your opinion either way. Right?
No, I hear you in terms of what you guys are saying about. I'm talking about the profiling because Vega, if he shows me that this weekend, then that's a whole nother. We've unlocked a whole nother level. He should be starting every week if he has that in him. If that's his game, then cool. I'm yet to see that though. We actually do lack that profile on the left, especially if we're gonna play Sancho. If Sancho's is now our starting left winger, we need somebody who can help on the overlaps because don't cut in and shoot.
Yeah, but if we're inverting Gusto, Chilwell can't play as a left centre back, bro. Right? And defensively, he's getting worse by the minute. Every time I'd watched that guy last year, it was honestly like we had a mannequin defending, bro. Yeah, his end product in the final third is not the same. He's poor. He's poor because I liked Chilwell. I like those fullbacks that can go up and down and that. He was good, yeah. But unfortunately, he's just not that good anymore, bro. It happens. You know what I'm saying? Injuries happen. You get better players. It is where it is, bro. We can't be putting Chilwell in this lineup. He gets nowhere near this lineup, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Then, if I understand, I feel you on that sense. Then fair enough, yeah. But then, let's say Reece James was to play. I don't expect him to. I know he's been training the last couple of weeks. He probably get some minutes. But if Reece James was to play, because we ain't seen him in this system, we shouldn't expect Reece James to be bombing the right hand side up and down.
If Reece plays,
right centre back.
If Reece plays, then you might see him at right centre back. If we invert, that's when you're probably looking to invert Vega. That will make more sense, bro. Because Reece, he just came back from a big injury, hamstring injury, and that you don't want him bombing up and down anyway. So that would actually work better for him if he goes back and then you play Vega. But I don't think Reece will be on the bench, in my opinion. I don't think he's going to
say that. I actually think he doesn't even make the squad. I just read something that Maresca said, we're giving him he can't play 2 games in a week or something, and they're managing him like another player. I forgot the other player who he mentioned, but Lavia, that's it. He said, we're managing Reece how we're managing Lavia. They can't play 2 games in a week and that. So yeah, I actually think, when you travel just for moral support, when you just got your coat still on and you're just in the stand, I think that's what Reece will be. Like, I don't think he'll actually be in the squad this weekend, man.
Nah. And with how Diaz is playing and that, listen, you could just turn him and then before you know it, hamstring gone again. I've told people already he needs bionic legs. I don't think we're gonna see Reece for at least maybe 2-3 games. He's
got to go, man. I can't lie. This run of games, this Man United Arsenal spell, like if he ain't starting at least 2 of those games, like, we got to start figuring out how we can get 80 million pure profit from him.
I know he'll start. Man. He'll come back.
80 mil is a lot to
He's just signed a new contract.
Do you know what it is? If any of you personally know in the chat, anyone that has hamstring injuries, they're reoccurring now. I know apparently he was refusing surgery and he's actually apparently got the surgery, but that still doesn't mean much because I'm telling you, once you put that hamstring, it can carry on going and going and going regardless of surgery. So CB has a point, and you've said it before as well, Don, that let's say he gets another major injury, you might have to start entertaining. I have the same energy for Diogo Jota. He's probably my favourite forward at the club. But and I think Tom will agree, if he gets one more serious injury now, at his age, we might need to start entertaining.
Bro, I love Reece. I love Reece. For me, when Reece is playing at his best, he's world class. Yeah, one of the few players I can say that actually world class in my team. Issue is, I love my club more. If he's never available, his ability is redundant to me. It means nothing because cool. The idea of you is nice. I love you when you're playing, but if you're never there, you're not helping my club. All you're doing is just inconveniencing my club. Because then if Gusto's not available, it's back to Disassi.
It's Disassi right back, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
And you're doing that to us. Like, the fact that we still seeing Disassi right back is criminal. I think who did we play there in the league?
West Ham.
Was it?
He actually done well against West Ham.
He came off the bench West Ham. I think it was Palace.
Palace, it started at right back.
Do you remember? Do you remember?
Why are you doing that to us in August?
Actually, no. Palace Gusto started that game. It was what game?
He had a game in the league where he played right back.
Oh, I can't remember.
Wasn't it Bournemouth?
Let us know.
Bournemouth. It was Bournemouth. Yeah,
I
it
swear
was
it was
Bournemouth.
Yeah, Bournemouth is starting at right back. Bournemouth is starting at yeah.
Because I remember
Bournemouth.
watching that game and I'm thinking he's actually the pressure. Remember we did the preview for the Carabao Cup earlier this year, Don? And we literally both said Disasi, he's got a decent pass on him, but he's literally a press trigger. The minute he gets the ball, opposition, they're just on him. They're literally just on him and they suffocate him.
No, 100%, bro. So that's the problem that you've got with Reece. Like for me, I've said it already. Listen, it's the first time he's had this hamstring surgery. Already, he picked up another injury on that hamstring. He looks a lot slimmer. I'll be real.
No, he's overweight. He's overweight.
Nah, he looks like he's overweight, man.
Overweight.
He looks like
he's came to preseason overweight. He got a free. You need to realize he got a 3-match ban. Yeah, so he even missed the last couple games of the season. He didn't go to the Euros, so you've had extra time. You're the captain. You should have been the first guy back for preseason. You've come in. You're overweight. You've even had an extra preseason because of the suspensions and so forth. You're still overweight. You've got your suspension done, and you're injured. You have not played no minutes since you got sent off. Even that sending off is your second sending off of the season. You're the captain.
That was poor. That was poor.
I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, bro,
pissed.
what do you do? You're a highest earner. Because when Sterling was our highest earner as a fan base, I remember last year, at least Sterling was on the pitch. You man were Don, especially you was calling for Sterling's head and you kept mentioning his wages. Now this is our highest earner. He's not available. He don't show up. He's just living off his old works from when there was no fans in the stadium. If we're being honest.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's not showing up because he's not fit. It's not like he's not showing up on the pitch. Like the few minutes we saw him last year, he was good, bro. Like against Spurs, he was good. Against Forest, when he came off the bench, man got an assist to win us the game. You know what I'm saying? Like the first game of the season against Liverpool, he was good. That game, he literally toyed with these, man. Yeah, but I don't see him starting.
Came off injured 60 minutes in.
I know he did. That's the problem that you've got with Reece, man. That's
this
Reece.
is the thing, though. You can't.
You can't rely on someone like this.
Well,
I know, bro.
He had one game last year, and it was against us. One game and you played near 50. If I told,
wasn't that the first game of the season? Wasn't that the first game of the season?
Yeah.
Well?
And that was when we had that was when we had like Gakpo playing centre mid because we hadn't bought any other centre mids bar McAllister and Szoboszlai. Like
we were calling him Gak Linton. We were saying the 9 that's reformed to as an 8.
That game, we didn't have Caicedo at that point. Remember, we started Gallagher, Enzo, and Carney in the midfield. That was our midfield.
Carney played well. I was actually at that game. Carney actually played well still. Played very well.
For real, man. But listen, let's get into the last little bits, people. We've got nearly 300 people in the house, and we ain't even touched 200 likes yet, people. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you lot have smashed up the likes, man. It literally takes 2 seconds to do it. You know what I mean? A lot more content coming this weekend, man. But CB, from your point of view, man, who are you looking at from Liverpool that's dangerous, that we need to make sure we're keeping an eye on him, man?
McAllister. I think McAllister's the reason they take. I think McAllister's the reason why we're seeing the upside in Gravenberch. I think the praise that Gravenberch's actually getting should be directed to McAllister, if I'm being honest with you. I've seen McAllister excel. He made Enzo Fernandez look good. I want to say he made Caicedo look good, but they complemented each other very well. And he's making Gravenberch look good. I've yet to see Gravenberch look as good without him. You can see that the common denominator in this is McAllister. I think if we try to contain him, I think the task, everyone's talking about Gravenberch. I think we need to put Caicedo on McAllister and let them have their own personal battle. And then in terms of Gravenberch, he just needs to get pressed from the front. But everything really goes through McAllister, I'll be honest. So if I just found out that apparently he's injured, if that's true, then I'm very confident going into this game because Curtis Jones and a pivot with Gravenberch, with Szoboszlai in front of them. Hey, listen, I'm licking my chops. But let's just see it. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, I think this is mind games though.
Do you know what, CB? I'm happy you said it because Gravenberch has been. McAllister's my favorite midfielder, but Gravenberch, what it is where he wasn't favoured under Klopp, and then when he first of all he didn't get a run of games, in my opinion, a fair run of games, and 2, then he was getting misprofiled. But where he's come into this fold, and I always say a good hallmark of a manager is improving players. In my opinion, I think Konate, Diaz, and Gravenberch are 3 players that have improved immensely. Because my criticism of all 3 of them was not really Gravenberch, because the talent was always there. But Konate, for me, was a bit too rash. He engaged when he didn't have to. He wasn't that intelligent. I think Slot's actually put the arm around him and ironed that out of his game. So far, so good. And Diaz, for me, was never his ability, but was his output. His output's now improved. But the things with Gravenberch, he's kind of like the shiny new toy in the sense that We hardly saw him last season. Now we're seeing him this season. He's flawless and he's in the position he needs to be. It's like all plaudits go to him. But literally, you're spot on, TB. The common denominator is McAllister. I think because he's just he's such a good constant in our team and produces 7s and 8s out of 10 every week. He's going underneath the radar. But for me, if he doesn't play this game, I will still back us because of home advantage. But the game's even more tight. I think it's tight as it is, but I think he'll be a massive blow to us. But I can see a world where he might get introduced, and if he gets introduced, I think we will need to be level at that point because I don't want it to be a situation where we're chasing the game and you're ahead, and then he comes into the fold.
Let me just go through this as well because Ibrahim, this guy here. I don't know what Noni did to you, bro. I don't know if you saw Noni in Sainsbury's.
He's been on you all street.
He's on Madueke all the time. Like every time he's in my chat, every time he's in my comments. Big yourself up for the support, my bro. Yeah, every single time.
Big up for him.
You need to just take time. Yeah, Madueke. I don't know why he rattles you so much. Everyone knows what I think of the guy, bro. Like, yes, he is one of the best at taking on his man. No one can debate this anymore. Not even CB, who tried to call me deluded. Yeah.
Listen, I'll say in my chest, yeah. I think Noni's one of the best wingers in the league right now. I think that I've yet to see a winger pocket him. I think he's a constant problem every single time, 1v1. In terms of this narrative that he's selfish, I actually think that's forced. I think against Nottingham Forest, for example, he was the only person that was making something happen. He makes his own chances as well, similar to what Jackson does. I can't take that away from him, and I think he deserves a serious role in the side. Now,
bro, and then he's
perfect.
He always talks about his touch as well. I don't know about you lot. Like, do you think Madueke's got a heavy touch, bro? Because I don't think he's got a heavy touch like that. Like,
I just think the way he dribbles is not aesthetically pleasing.
It's unorthodox. That's what it is. It's unorthodox. But it works for him. Like, if you actually watch his dribbling, the way he dribbles, it's very unpredictable for defenders. That's why he can get past them. Like, it doesn't have to be pretty like Messi or tight like Messi. What works for him, bro. I used to talk about this with Sterling. People used to talk about Sterling. Sterling's not pleasing on the iron. I'm like, bro, with Sterling, what he does in terms of taking on his man, it works for him. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I need. I need my player, my winger, to be running at their man. Yes, he needs to improve his end product. Yes, he needs to improve his decision making. But he's 22, bruv. It will come. Yeah, from what I've seen from the beginning of his time at Chelsea in comparison to now, it's night and day, bruv.
Yeah,
it is night and day. You know what I'm saying?
So can I ask you, who do you think is better, Neto or Noni?
Me, I think Neto. I've always thought Neto was a better footballer. I just think Neto's problem is his hamstrings can't last 5 games in a row, which is why Noni's probably closed the gap. I think Neto, at his very best, is one of the best dribblers in the league. He's one of the most explosive players in the league, and he's shown at points he can have an end product. It's just with him, it comes all at once. So he ended last season with like 11 assists. 9 of them came in the first 9 games, and then he didn't get anything bar 2 at the back end of the season. I think with Madueke, he's improved from when he joined Chelsea, but the dribbling is good, slightly inconsistent, but good, and the decision making is almost but not quite. There's points where he passes when he needs to shoot. There's points where he shoots when he needs to pass. And that's what you need to excel at to be in the upper echelon of wingers. I think Neto's decision-making is very good.
A lot better.
I feel like the Neto that you're describing, we haven't seen this Neto yet.
Yeah, you've only seen this Neto yet. I'm going, but we're 10 games in. I know I'm going off the Neto that I saw at the start of last season for Wolves. I'm going off the Neto that I've seen for a number of years.
Yeah, we haven't even seen the best of Neto yet. That's the scary part.
Do you know who? This is literally a throwback player, yeah. But do you know who Madueke reminds me of? And I feel like he's only at Chelsea for the time being. I actually think he's quite a decent player. But do you know who he reminds me of? Like we used to have Ryan Babel, where they've got bags of potential, but when they're supposed to pass, they shoot. When they're supposed to shoot, they pass. And I always said Babel was a player that had a lot of potential, but his decision making always let him down. It always let him down. And that's where I think Noni might be in that mode where his potential is evident. Like it's clear to see he's got potential. But I do think, Don, when you go from that top 14 to then challenging for the league, I think that's a player that could get ousted maybe as a squad player. And that's no disrespect to him. I just think when you go to that next level eventually, I think he may get left behind. But again, like you said, he is 22. and there is room for
No,
improvement.
bro, that's what I'm saying. Like people look at things like this, and end of the day, with football, you also have to be, as much as you've got to have standards. Yes, we need better than Madueke. Ideally, we need someone like Olise there. You know, someone that's polished, right, to be starting week in, week out. But at the same time, two things can be true at once, bro. He's young. He's going to keep improving. Yeah. By the time he's 24, 25 and that, like, if you think about, for example, like with Saka, yeah, Saka plays beyond his years because of the amount of experience that he's got, right? In the Prem, especially. Yeah. The more these young players play, the more they improve. That's just what happens with football. And for me, I'm not going to expect Madueke to be complete at 22. You barely ever get anyone that's complete at 22, bro. Yeah, it barely happens. But he's got time on his hands, bro, and he's got a good manager. He's got a quality team that he's working in as well. And he's in London, comfortable at yard, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know he's one of Neto's... Sorry, bro?
No, I was going to say quickly, CB. What I would now say is, though, this is why football can be a cruel game. He will have to continue on his trajectory because next summer now you're going to have Paez coming in. You're going to have Esteval coming in. You're going to have more talent. Big up Wavy now. Even before I saw that comment, I thought, but you still have... And knowing clearly you're going to probably buy more attackers. You're going to have a 9 coming. I actually think next summer, don't be surprised if it Nkunku or Mudryk or Madueke gets sold.
And Mudryk are definitely on the way out.
Yeah, because you've got so much talent still coming into... You've got so much attacking talent still coming into the club. Felix, would you sign him on more? I know Sancho's obligation to buy. I think you just have to not finish in the bottom 6, which you're not going to finish in the bottom 6.
I think it's like above 15 or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, something like that. So I think you will sign him, but Madueke is going to there's actually pressure on him because he's going to have to keep going on this trajectory because you've got talent coming in next summer as well.
I agree with that. I do agree with that, and I've spoken about that as well because for me, when I watch Esteval and I see like his end product, his decision making at 17. It's miles clear of
but that's a world-class player there, though. You see what I mean? Like,
exactly.
I'm not gonna sit here and tell you Noni's world-class.
Like, I don't think Madueke is the guy who'd start on the wing for a title-winning team. I don't think
that's
he
what
will
I just
ever
literally.
that.
Literally,
he to me is like Jesus. He's a guy who can be a key part in getting you back into the Champions League. But if you want to go and make that next step forward, I just don't think he's ever gonna become the guy he's ever gonna become a winger who can be relied on to lead the team to a title. And
but that's why I was looking at Olise. That's why I was looking at Olise, bro. And we all said like Madueke.
I think that's very.
I'm sure CB agrees. For me, Madueke. I've already said it. Like, there's only a few players that are guaranteed to start for Chelsea right now, which is Palmer and Colwell, for example, are guaranteed starters. Yeah, Noni is not in that bracket for me where he's guaranteed to start. If he's not playing well, like I was asking for Neto to start games the other week, yeah. But Madueke managed to score last week. You know, the last game as well against Forest, he scored. Like I said, he again, I don't look at him and think, oh, this is a ready-made player. I don't look at him like that. I look at a player that's young and he's got an attribute that not a lot of wingers have in terms of taking on his man. But off the bench, I'll be happy with that off the bench as well, bro. Because if you got Madueke running at you off the bench, look what he did against who did we play for England the other day? He came on, he did very well off the bench. Who was it that he came on against? Finland, yeah. He did very well off the bench. That's what he can offer you. For me right now, Madueke's ability is squad level ability. Do you know what I'm saying? It's between him and Neto. There's no one's guaranteed to start on that side.
I think the reason why I've been actually going on all these platforms and defending Noni is because I do feel like the criticism is harsh. Like I think the narrative of just you can see the confidence that he has, and he always backs himself to take on his. And I want that in a winger and an attacker anyway. He backs himself to take on a man every time. If he feels like, oh, I got an opening here, he's gonna go for goal. Even his goal against Forest, it wasn't a clear-cut chance. He literally created that himself and went for goal. Like, this is what happens in them type of players. So there's going to be moments where it can be frustrating. And I don't even think it's that frustrating because I was at that game. That first half, everything came from him. All the chances came from him. Palmer hit the post through his chances. And another thing that everyone keeps taking away is his defensive work off ball. He works so hard, whether he's pressing, whether he's tracking back and helping Gusto on the right-hand side. Like, these are the things that a top winger needs in his game that a lot of people can't offer. But for some reason, that he's the scapegoat. And I think that's a bit harsh. That's why I do the extra work to defend him more, because I've realized this is getting a bit out of hand. They talk about him like he's Enzo. That's the person who really needs to be getting slandered. And
then what happens is you get people like Ibrahim who, because they just don't like Madueke, he's talking about Bandana Boy and that, they just talk about him as if he's useless. Yeah, Madueke's not useless. You know what I'm saying?
I've clocked on in the modern day fan. If you've already got an agenda, even if they play well, you find it hard to admit you find it hard to give them any sort of praise. And I've clocked big up Ibrahim, like Don said, big up the support now. But I've clocked straight away with Ibrahim. He's mentioning Madueke in every other comment he puts up, and I've clocked. I know, obviously I don't know him personally, but I have a feeling Madueke could even play well, and Ibrahim will still try and find a nuance in his game. Whatnot.
Bro, he's talking to me about Turkey. Why are we talking about Turkey, bruv? What's going on here?
My man can't even run.
Turkey right wing, bro. Turkey is a baller. Yeah, he's a baller.
Bro, he's a cage baller, man. He's done man there, man.
Yeah, I like cage
footballer. Like,
he's a baller, but why are we talking about Turkey right now? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but anyway, Tom, I'm gonna let you lot predict first. Anyway, you know what I mean? It's flown by, you know, an hour already. People, nearly 300 people in here. Keep smashing up the lights. We saying, bro, prediction wise, and tell me your goal scorers as well.
I'm interested to hear this because I don't even know Tom's prediction myself.
Yeah, Tom, what's your prediction and who's gonna score?
2-0 Liverpool. My priority is keeping a clean sheet. I want a clean sheet again. There's nothing better in football than clean sheets. Goal scorers wise, I said on my one yesterday with Hassam that I think McAllister would pop up with something, but now that there's this uncertainty, I don't know. I don't know if he'll start. So then, if he's not starting, I don't know if he can pop up. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say that he starts. I'm going to say that he starts and he comes up with a goal, and then I'm going to say that Jota gets the other one. I think Jota it'll be one of them scrappy goals where he pops up in the right place at the right time after the Cole. So like Salah's cut in, had the shot, Colwell's made a last ditch block, but it's bounced and Jota's in the right place at the right time to put it home. So yeah, 2-0.
2-0. You don't think Chelsea are going to score, no?
It's not that Chelsea are bad attacking. I just really trust our defence. I think unless Palmer's able to keep pulling away from both our midfielders consistently and Slot doesn't address it for some reason, I think we'll keep you quiet. And I think it might end up being a case where you resort to crossing the ball, and that's the one thing you can't do against us because Van Dijk and Canate are the two best defenders in the Premier League.
Tom, do you know what I've noticed? Yeah, you're always mentioning Palmer. That's solely just Palmer.
Palmer scares me. Palmer's one of the few rival players that scared me.
Palmer isn't Palmer without Jackson, though.
That's very true.
They're a 1-2 punch. Whether Palmer's at the end of the goal or the end of Jackson's at the end of the goal, they usually combine together. Even if Noni ends up scoring, it's usually because of combination between Jackson and Palmer. So if you fear Palmer,
I think the combination helps Palmer, but I think Palmer could do much on his own as well. I think Palmer has the ability, if it came down to it, to go on his own. I think Jackson's more reliant on Palmer than Palmer is on Jackson. They work well, obviously they're a partnership, but if it came down to it, Palmer's got more individual quality. Palmer scares me more than Jackson does. I would trust Canate and Van Dijk to deal with Jackson.
And do you know what?
I trust my centre backs. That's what it is.
On Palmer as well. The last time we played you, he played as a 9, so he wasn't even involved in the game.
Exactly.
At Wembley, he created 2 good chances for Gallagher, bruv, in like the last few minutes, and he created another one in the box where Gallagher hit the post. Right, so he's done all right against Liverpool in the league. We just haven't seen it. First game he wasn't at the game. He wasn't at the game because we didn't buy him at that point. So yeah, he needs another big game as well. Romz, what are you saying, man? Prediction and who's gonna score?
A bit similar to Tom, but I give you a goal. Like I thought this for about the last couple of days. I think first 15, 20 minutes we're going to be all over you, but you lot score against the run of play. I think you take the lead through Palmer, but I think this is a game of the big hitters. I think Palmer scores. I think we make it 1-1 just before half time. I think we go into half time 1-1, and then I do think we throw the kitchen sink at you. I actually think second half you lot have chances where you should score and you don't, and I think we nick it 2-1 and Salah scores. I just think Salah's record against Chelsea's good. I can just see Salah winning this for us and a late winner, and then Anfield just going mad. But this is going to be a tight game. The thing with Chelsea, I don't fear you, but I respect you a lot. And you know, Don, I've said this many times. I respect you a lot. I've been respecting you when a lot of rivals haven't. So I think we edged this 2-1, but I do think you lot will take the lead. And it's a game where we're really going to have to grind for our 3 points. But I think we eventually get it.
Now, hear it, man. CB, what about you, bro?
I'm saying it's either going to be a 1-1 draw or a 2-1 win either way, if I'm being honest with you. I I know what type of game this is gonna be already. It's gonna be end to end. We might both miss chances. There'll probably be 2 early goals, and then the second half, both teams close up shop, and we're just missing chances all game. And yeah, like I think for us, we gotta literally just start very strong. I think we always usually have strong starts, but just take the game to them straight away. If we take our first 2 chances, I think we can happily do a 2-1. And yeah, I don't see us scoring more than 2 goals there though.
I literally said the same thing. I've predicted 2-1 as well, man. Palmer, I think Palmer will get something for us. Other person, fuck it. For Ibrahim, I'm gonna say Madueke. Why not? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say Madueke. And Ibrahim, you better fucking make sure it doesn't score.
I need a Jackson goal badly, though, man.
I need one.
I'll do crazy things for a Jackson goal, man.
You know what I mean? But let's finish up with some of the super chats, people, because we've got a few in here. You've got Kafka, big up for the support. It says Trent is overrated. He gives up more GA than created in big games, especially Champions League. Liverpool has to compensate for him a lot. Sell him and reinvest. Well, Bradley's more complete.
I mean, that's just simply not true in the slightest, but all right.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tom, don't back. They're the type of comments just say, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for watching the show. You know what I mean?
Hey, how you been going to sell him, man? Listen, he's got Madrid for free. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
we're not paying no money.
He's not gone yet. So we still get to my defense whilst he's still here. When he goes, you'll see a nasty agenda. But right now, the man's got 15 GA in the Champions League. I don't remember him giving up 16 goals.
Yeah. Now that Kafka, you're moving crazy with that one. But big yourself up, man. Blue Blood says to all Pool fans, you better win on Sunday. Also remember that you already lost at home this season. You're not unbeatable. That's true. Robertson and Trent are gonna get cooked.
See, this is the thing. This is the problem. Me and Romz have said nothing wild on this stream. But because Sam's been saying wild stuff, we're now getting the thing of you better.
Exactly.
If we lose, I'm gonna get shit for it because
you know what, Tom?
Was saying all
this. Do you know what, Tom? That I've learned to accept though. Being a content creator, I don't agree with a lot of what our fan base say, but because you support the club, you're gonna get painted with the same paintbrush. But yeah, Ram and Hassam, their score predictions. CB couldn't believe it. We were on the terrace yesterday. CB couldn't believe it. But no, I don't subscribe to how they think. I think we'll win, but the 3-4-0s, the thing is, Sunday will be a rude awakening for them. Not in my opinion, not in terms of a loss, but they should respect Chelsea a lot more after that.
Yeah,
game.
if we lose 3-4-0, that means we've capitulated. Like,
yeah,
I don't look at this team right now, just looking at it objectively, not even as a Chelsea fan. It will be strange to lose 4-0. Honestly, it will be very, very strange, bruv. And you've got another one here, a bit of a debate. So big up Turdit, if that's how you pronounce your name. Big up, bro. It says 2 very similar players. Who's better, Trossard or Jota? Who you taking? I'm biased. I'm taking Trossard.
You know the irony of this? We had this debate the other day. Someone, I don't know who that Chelsea fan is, but someone tagged us. But again, like overall, I'll probably say Trossard's the better footballer in my opinion. But I think I'd rather Jota as man 9. If you ask me who I want as man 9,
if I wanted them for my team, I'm taking Jota because I think we lack a profile like that.
Yeah,
as a footballer, Trossard, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I saw a clip on the TL this morning actually.
Look,
he picked up the ball 40 yards against you guys and scored.
Yeah, that misses a lot of context.
Ram has appeared. I said you said we would win, but I'm saying I don't agree with your scoreline. You didn't say 2-0. I think you said 4-0. No, Sam said 4-1 and you said 3-0. That for me, that's a bit mad. But I didn't say you said we. I know you think we're going to win.
What? I'm gonna get this panel back again next week, yeah, but with Ram this time. Yeah, Ram, you better be free. Because I was meant to get you over the international break, but I didn't actually end up running that. So next week we're gonna break it down. Just us lot, you know what I'm saying? And Ram as well. I'm gonna make sure I get him on, yeah. But yeah, what are you saying, Tom, for that one? That super chat.
I'm taking Jota. I think Jota is the second most complete finisher in the entire league. Anywhere inside the 18-yard box with any part of his body, he's got.
I agree.
I think the only guy who's better than him at finishing in the Premier League's Haaland.
Tom, would you agree? Would you agree to this
quickly about that one?
Quickly before we wrap up.
By the way, I said complete, not in the sense of right foot he's the best, left foot he's no. It's just in my opinion, because the only guy that I like here is Son. I give Son the left foot. I give Jota the right foot. In fact, no, I give Son the right foot and I give Jota the left foot, and I give Jota in the air.
Tom, would you agree with this? I've been saying to our families for the longest. If Jota has a fully fit season, maybe not 3-4 years ago, but I'll say the last couple of years, if Jota has a fully fit season, he gets the most goals in our front line. For me, by quite comfortably.
He probably doesn't get the most because Salah exists, but he gets very close to
and
Salah.
Salah's on pens as well. So
wait, so you still agree that Salah gets more? Because I think Jota would pick him.
Salah gets more because Salah would pull rank in certain situations, and there will be some where he doesn't. I mean, the closest we've got to a fully fit season from Jota was 21-22, and he got me 18 in the league, and that was with being a rotation piece in the second half of the season because we started playing Diaz out on the left and Mane in the middle. I know what Jota can give me. So I'll always put him ahead of... Trossard's a good player, but if you want to talk big games, I think Jota's got more.
So you consider Jota as a 9, yeah?
100%.
I think that's his best position, yeah.
I think when he goes to the left, some fans still like it. I don't like him on the left. I think
Trossard's a better winger. Trossard's definitely a better winger than him. Yeah, I think for me, I'll go with Jota as well, man. I think
that's the only thing. That's the only thing with Jota now. I do think he's not as versatile now. I feel like he can only really play 9. He can do a shift on the left, but he's less effective in my opinion.
Yeah, and this is one thing that I agree with as well. Big up Jassim. It says inside the box in Cuckoo is just as good. Bro, I put Trossard in Cuckoo, Jota, because was talking about this the other day. Who's the best finisher out of them?
It was Hatchim. Big up Hatchim. He's in the chat. He's the one who tagged us.
There, yeah? Bro, we're splitting hairs. In my opinion, we're splitting hairs. I'm not going to say Jota's a better finisher than Nkuku. I'm not going to say Nkuku's a better finisher than Jota. And same thing for Trossard. For me, they're all clean. With their finishing, the way they finish the ball, bro, they use similar techniques. They put their foot through it, they lock their foot, and it's clean. They don't hesitate to just shoot in the box. That's one thing about them. So I rate all 3 of them, innit? But if I had to pick between Jota and Trossard, I'd probably pick Jota, in my opinion, man. But listen, that's actually flown by, people. You know what I'm saying? That's flown by, man. We need to make sure, CB. We need to fucking make sure. Because Hussam, yeah, he's the one that I want to... Hey, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I just want the world to remember who Chelsea are, man. I feel like slowly they have been this season. We're getting a lot of respect, yeah, but this is a statement, man. This will let people know, listen, we're Chelsea, man, we're back. There's no chattings. And then even the standards raised what we want. Because I'll be honest with you guys, I joke a lot about the title race. Of course, I want the title, but that's just everyone does, isn't it? But if we win against here, the title race narrative that I'm pushing to the point where we're expecting this as a fan base, the levels start to raise. Because if we lose here, if we lose 2-0 or 3-1 or something like that, then everyone's, as a fan base, we're going to turn around to each other and say, yeah, we're top 4 team. We're going for top 4. I don't know. That's not good enough. These type of games are the ones that let the standards get raised. Do you know what I mean?
I hear it.
Change it up, man. Change up the mentality. And I actually, that's a spot on that you say that, CB, because there's too many Chelsea fans right now that are, I'm not saying pump up your chest and say we've now, you know, we're now the best things in sliced bread and that. No one's saying that, yeah? But have a little bit of belief to the point where it's like, yo, if we beat this team, right, that's going to give the boys a lot of confidence in this running that we've got. And if we're still up there January onwards and that, yeah, I don't want to hear nothing about phases, yeah? Yes, the target this season is top 4, but if you can smell blood, try and pounce on it, bro. Because Rodri isn't there this time. Arsenal have a 22-man squad right now. Liverpool, if Gravenberch goes down, it's back down to Endo, yeah? So I can smell blood.
Hey, I'm good with Endo. I'm good with Endo. That man's boss.
I don't think Slot is. That's the thing.
Yeah, Slot wants him gone, but the thing is, Endo gets disrespected. Last things with Endo's problem, he's not. For me, he wasn't as consistent.
He was good last season.
In the big games. He'll play well in the big games, and in the small. I was at the Crystal Palace game, Tom, where
he couldn't handle Will Hughes, but he dealt with Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri.
Exactly, it makes no sense. In the final, in
the final, I was there as well. Me and CB were there, bruv. He was unbelievable. Romz, you were there as well. In that final, he was like a ninja. But bro, he's not as good as Gravenberch in that first phase.
Even Declan Rice. Arsenal fans like to speak of Declan Rice like he's the second coming. Endo dealt with him at Anfield. We just didn't put our Trent hitting the crossbar on. Endo in the big games, I have no problem. It's the smaller games where you kind of go.
I can't trust Endo to build up from deep. But if I need to play someone to win his duels, win his tackles, there's no one better in the squad than Endo. Plus,
but listen to what you just said, though. Listen to what you just said, though. Slot, again, that midfield is Slot's machine, no pun intended, right? He wants that first person picking up the ball to be able to do something like Gravenberch. You've just said Endo's not good in build-up. That's gonna be finito for Slot. If he can't do what he needs to do,
I could tell you, he'd put McAllister there. I reckon if it came down to it, he'd play Endo as an 8, not a 6, and he'd put McAllister in the 6.
Isn't it?
He'd put Endo in the 8.
McAllister in the 6. Put McAllister in the 6. You already know what it's like off the ball, though. It's not like Gravenberch.
Yeah, but that,
you know what I'm saying?
But that's why you got Endo there.
That's why Endo.
He'd make it work. He'd make it work.
I don't think. As soon as Gravenberch goes down, who we've all said has been the best midfielder this season, that just makes that the level of your team go down a little bit. It might not be much, but it'll go down a little bit.
Good, but I think if McAllister goes down,
McAllister's a bigger problem.
That's when it's real.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's really Gravenberch. I think it's McAllister, but
I could trust McAllister and Endo as a partnership to make up for most of what we lose with Gravenberch. I don't think I could trust Gravenberch and Jones as a partnership to make up for what we lose with McAllister.
Yeah, that one there. Well, you better pray that he's not starting. But Tom, go on, CB. Go on, CB.
I just wanted to ask you guys, where we are now, don't you feel like it's very reminiscent of Arsenal the season before last year, where they just missed top 4 by a couple of points? They capitulated in the last couple of weeks of the season. Then they got Jesus and Zinchenko kind of,
and then they went on
that new system, and they were still targeting top 4, but they just started so well, and they were still there in January, then February, then March, where it's like, oh shit, this is a title race. I look at us and I see that with us.
I agree, bro. You know what? This is my hot take, and I said it. Big up Potts. I said it on Potts' channel. Yeah, I genuinely believe by Christmas, I don't think there's a top 4 race, and I've said this before. A ball got kicked. Don will vouch. I've said 5th and 6th will be between your Aston Villas, your Newcastles, your Spurs, whatnot. I think the top 4 is comfortably cool. Before ball got kicked, I said City, Arsenal, Liverpool 3rd, Chelsea 4th, right? But I think by Christmas, New Year's, where you're bang in the middle of the Prem season, I genuinely think there might be about 5 points separating us 4. I do feel that Chelsea will be close. And this is where I think it's not mad to say you lot go on a title run, because I think you're spot on. That season, in fact, that season, people didn't even have Arsenal as 4th, because they were saying, because they bottled it, people didn't even have them as 4th. And then, like you said, they kept staying there, and then expectations changed. I think if you lot can get to January, which I think you'll get to January, couple points off the top, you've got owners that will actually invest. Whereas Arsenal and Liverpool, you can't trust Concrete or FSG to then buy the place to make us go the extra mile. You lot actually have the owners to do that. It's not alien to say that you can't. It is genuinely not alien to say you
and that's exactly what I said to Matisse on that the other day. Me and Javon, big up Javon in the chat as well, was literally saying this to Matisse, because he was like, yo, I'm hungry right now, but I'll take my little sandwich. I literally said to him, I said, bro, he's moving like, in school, back in school, on Fridays, we used to have fish and chips, on school on Fridays,
same.
I want fish and chips. He's all right with his little sandwich. You know what I'm saying? And I look at it like, bro, if you're up there at that point, and again, you can smell blood, you pounce on that opportunity. That's the mentality you have. Because if you fail, no one's going to say Maresca out. No one's going to say these players are shit. No one's going to do that. What we're going to say is, do you know what? We gave it a good go. Next season, we go again. But at least now we've got ourselves into top 4 comfortably. Yeah, if you're just talking about, let's go for top 4, let's aim for top 4, that's when you start to fuck about, bro. That's when you start to fuck about.
We've become Wenger's Arsenal as a fan base. I mentioned the title race to our fans, and everyone's like, whoa, relax. No, it's top 4. No, we're not ready yet. Why not? But Chelsea, I saw us finish 10th and win the league. I saw us win the Champions League at 6th place.
Tom, you're going to say something.
I don't think this is like Arsenal that year, because Arsenal that year capitalised on everyone but City being shit. Hence why Newcastle were in that position to finish where they did, and United got 4th under Ten Hag. It was only really, and City had a really shit start to that season. Haaland was still scoring, but they were throwing away silly points in a lot of games. Whereas this year, we're there, City are there, even though they've lost Rodri, the City are always going to be there. Arsenal are there. There's just, I almost think there's too many teams to necessarily put Chelsea in that situation. And it's not bad if you're not there this year. If
you-
you're finishing
course,
there
that's
and
what I'm
thereabouts, then
Do you remember
that's something to build
the
off.
13-14 season? Of course, you guys remember that season, but the 13-14 season where it was a four-legged race, like it was literally like game week 35, and it was
It was three-legged, wasn't it? Because
City,
Arsenal
Chelsea.
were there until he lost to us.
Yeah,
5-1,
Arsenal
they
were
shit
there
the
as well
bed.
until the last 3 games, and then that ended up being the top 4 race. But it was just a four-legged race. That's what this season kind of reminds me of, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's my hot take. By Christmas, New Year's, I think there will only be about 5-6 points separating City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea.
Yeah,
I truly believe that.
I get what Tom's saying, because yes, those other teams, like Chelsea fell off and finished 12th, and that's true. But again, like I've said, Tom, I look at Arsenal's squad and the amount of games they've got to play. They're already picking up injuries, bro. Yeah, there's no guarantee that one of their main players in Saka is going to stay fit, right? There's no guarantee that Odegaard ain't going to get injured again.
You can't.
Yeah?
We don't know what the state of anyone's squad's going to look like. I'm just going, if the way it's looking, Arsenal have had 5 years under this manager playing a certain way. That system's so locked in. Same with City. And we all understand now that football is a system game. If your system works and you're just plugging and playing, that's better than what the situation our clubs are in, where the system's not 100% there, and certain players are so important to making it work that when they come out, you're going to see a drop off. With Arsenal and City, they're at the point now where you could take out an Odegaard, for example, and Arsenal don't start throwing away games. They might not look as good, but they don't start throwing away games.
I'm glad you've said that, because already me and CB are seeing that with the second team. You know, it doesn't matter if he makes 11 changes. We play the exact same way. And Maresca said it himself. He said, "I've noticed the team now are understanding what I'm expecting from them, what we're expecting from them as a team."
Yeah, but I think that second team has played against second team levels sides. I feel like
but we lost the Servette, though. We lost the Servette, remember?
But we're gonna figure out the team's understanding of both our systems in the runs that we've got now. Knowing that the second stringers can seem to play quite well against a Barrow is a different kettle of fish to when 6 of them have to come in to the first team to play against, for example, Newcastle or whatever. If 6 of them have to come in there,
now with Tosin and Vega coming in.
Yeah, but 2's manageable.
I'm very fond of Vega, but this is probably the biggest game of his life.
Yeah, like last year, I saw it last year with us. We had a system that was so ingrained that we were on our fucking knees with depth at times. Yeah. But because the system was so settled and being there, we were just dropping players in and they knew what they were doing. There were certain cases where it wasn't working. You putting Gakpo on the right wing when he's never played there before. Like that didn't work. But for the most part, you were taking Bradley, an academy kid, putting him in there.
Yeah.
Because we had that system for so long, knows how it works.
In the Carabao Cup final, innit? I hate to bring it up. But
like, we were playing kids.
Going into that game, I'm like, well, okay, there's no Nunes, there's no Salah, there's no Trent, there's no Alisson. What the fuck? This is easy. And you guys played exactly the same way.
Yeah, but the thing is though, we had them on ropes, and we had a fucking manager that told the team to sit back.
No, but Don, let's be honest here. Every time we play, barring that 4-1 where our starting 11 was an absolute joke. Every time we played Liverpool, is end-to-end games. Yeah. We always feel like we're the better team. We don't put our chances away, and we somehow lose on penalties or some shit like that.
To be fair, we were the ones.
It was the same game. We literally played the Liverpool we always expect to play. And they just
but that's what I'm saying. Now,
the Galacticos.
Now it's going to be interesting, because if obviously we just to round out, if we had Poch and they had Klopp, this would be ping pong football. But the fact is, we've got Maresca now and they've got Slot. It's going to be methodical football, bro. It's going to be thinking football. It's going to be boxing. Romz love the boxing. It's going to be like last week, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know the boxing. Yeah. That's what it's going to be like.
Don, that's what I think everyone's expecting, but I genuinely think both managers go for this. I just have a weird feeling it's going to be basketball. You could be right. You know what? Evidence just suggests that you're more right than me, because 9 draws out of the last 10. We always try and cancel each other out. Evidence suggests that. However, I just think this is going to go against the grain. Both managers have an element of control, but I think they're both going to go for it. Man.
Yeah. Well, let's wait and see, people, man. But listen, that's actually flown by. That preview was mad. I enjoyed that, man. But Tom, love for hopping on, man. Let them know where they can find you. Good debut on the channel as well.
Appreciate it. Tom Little with the one on YouTube, Twitter, everything. I am now streaming regularly again. I had Don on the channel on Wednesday, I had a stream with Hassam yesterday. It's going to be one on Monday reviewing. There's going to be one on Sunday night reviewing the game, which should hopefully be positive. Then a bit of an overview thing on Monday. So there's lots of content to look forward to from me.
100%, man. You know, make sure you're subscribing to Tom. Romz, what you saying, man? Let them know where they can find you. Love for hopping on, my bro.
Come on, man. Love having me on a day. Big up Tom, big up CB, big up the chat, man. But yeah, that's my handle for most things. You'll mainly catch me on Big Six Burns on Monster's channel. But yeah, and I got something in the pipeline with me and my boys. We were doing actually, if you go to a channel called Total Media 851, you'll see a regular podcast, but there's a lot of politics in the background. But we found a studio again, so I got something in the pipeline that I'll let you lot know. But for now, yeah, that's my socials.
Yeah, Romz ain't got YouTube, so I tagged his Twitter people. So make sure you lot are following him. You know what I'm saying? Arsenal fans, beware in it, because he loves to rattle these Arsenal fans on Twitter.
I love rattling you. But Tom, the thing is, Tom doesn't really realize
he's an Arsenal fan.
Because exactly 2 years ago, I was going to the Emirates with my best friend. I was like, you know what, let me just watch them. And Tom was like,
that man's been Emirates more than Anfield. He was waiting for the parades.
Now, you know what? One thing about Romz, this guy takes them long trips to go Anfield. That's one thing about him. You know what I mean? I don't know how you love Anfield. You know, I was thinking he lived in London. That's long.
No,
he was a Scouser for a while.
No, man, I love the club. But yeah, Don's right. If you're an Arsenal fan watching this, I'm on you. I'm at you lots of net because you chat a lot for a team that's done nothing in 5 years. So yeah.
Before we go to CB, let's bring up the super chat real quick. Jamie, big up Jamie Phillips. Big up Don, you're smashing it. Liverpool 2-1. Big up the panel. Love my bro, man. Love for the super chat as well. Hopefully it's the other way around because I've predicted 2-1 Chels. But CB, you know what I'm saying? The people's champion that, yeah? Let them know where they can find you, man.
Big up the chat every single time. Big up Don, love for having me on here. You know, I don't really fuck with a lot of Chelsea creators, but Don, one of the main guys I do fuck with, man, is a real one. Big up Romz, big up Tom. Yeah. First time I seen you yesterday, but Tom, you're good people's man. Yeah, you can find me CB1Milli, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. TikTok, you'll find like football videos. Instagram is just me being me. Twitter, you'll find a lot of football stuff. Milli Amateur. And yeah, playback, Celsius Europe, and Instagram, YouTube, sorry, Celsius Europe. But you can also find me Sundays, Never Foul, Thursday, Monday, Top 6 show. And yeah, Carefree Lewis throughout the week as well.
Yeah, perfect, man, perfect. But listen, people, we're going to redirect to Ziad. Make sure that you lot smash up the chat as well. Make sure that you let them know that you're coming from my channel. I might pop over there for a second. I've got to go out, people. But yeah, make sure that you lot lock into Ziad's stream next. But listen, up the fucking Chels, man. We're coming from these red
every single time.
Love.
You'll see.